Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're in grade 6, unit 5, lesson 9. Lesson 9 is a review of lessons 1 through 8, so it's pretty hard. So there's a lot in it, and so I had asked you to put in your requests for which ones we should do. So we are on number 20 on page 249. There it is. And a shout out to Chase. Thanks, Chase, for requesting number 20. So here we go. Number 20 says, Dale has a piece of paper that's in the shape of a square, and the sides are 6 inches long. Then it says he's going to cut out a different square with a side length of S inches. From this square that he's starting with, he's going to cut out another square. We wants us to write an expression for the area of the paper that's left. So after he cuts out another one, what paper is left? So again, just like you hear me say all the time, please, 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 when you're approaching this problem, do so by actually doing the problem. Math is about doing. It's a language and an action. It's not just a watching on the screen. So please don't just watch me do it. Literally actually pause this video and do it. So go get a piece of paper, just like I did. Go get a ruler if you have one. Now, if you didn't happen to bring a ruler home from school, not to worry. You can either print one off the internet, just Google up actual ruler. If you can print it out, that's fine too. Otherwise, ask your family. Maybe you have something else that can work. Maybe you have a tape measure or something. If not, just guess. Use your best guess and just guess, because it doesn't have to be perfect. The action is actually just that we want to try things out, try math out, rather than just read about it or watch someone else do it. So here's my ruler, and prior to this, I measured out a square that was 6 inches on the bottom, 6 inches on the side, base times height, so 6 by 6. So there's my square. I'm going to pause the video and cut it out for a second, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here's my 6 by 6. Now, let's read the question again. Dale has a square of paper with sides 6 inches long. There it is. We know if this side is 6, all of the sides are 6 in order for it to be a square. So here it is. Now, he cut out a square with a side length of S inches. So we know that he took his ruler and measured out some mystery amount of inches and put a little mark and cut a corner, a chunk of this paper out. We just don't know how much he cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a random amount and not tell you, and we'll use that to see if we can figure out how to talk about the second part of the question that says, write an expression for the area of paper that's left after he cut that out. So pause a second. I'm going to cut out a corner of this. I hope that you do this as well. Please do this with me. Here you can see the area of square that I measured or marked out. I made sure that my base and my height were the same. And you can see I drew my lines, and now I'm getting ready to cut out my square. Your square doesn't have to be the same size. It can be tiny, it can be medium, it can be nearly the whole thing. It doesn't matter, because we don't know what this is, and we're writing an expression to show that we don't know what it is, but we still figure out how to represent it. Okay, I'm back. Here's my little square that I cut out. Here's what I started with. And the directions say we want to write an expression that shows the area of the paper that's left. So this is what we want to find the area for. So I'm going to grab my whiteboard. You can, whoops, hold on a second. All right, I'm back. My whiteboard fell on the floor while I was trying to grab it. Okay, so what are we going to start with? Well, what did we start with when we were trying to figure out by actually doing the action? We started with our 6 by 6 square. So we need to start with our 6 by 6 square. How are we going to write that? Well, it's a square. So we know like when we hear that word, we know, first of all, we know that the base and the height are the same. And when something's the same, we can just write it once. And we hear the word square, which you could tell is squared. So that can help you with the expression, or with the exponent, excuse me. So it is a 6 by 6 square. So I'm going to start by writing 6 squared. Now, In this case, it's inches, 6 square inches. It could have been something else, but there's 6 squared. Now, what's the next thing we did? Well, we cut out a chunk, didn't we? What does it mean when you take something away, take it out? Well, hopefully you said subtraction. So we need to subtract. But what do we need to subtract? Well, how much did we do? Now, I know I measured this. I know how much this is, but you don't at home. And I don't know what you measured and took away. And it was probably something different than I did. But we can still write the same expression because we know we're taking a mystery amount away. How much did you measure when you were measuring this way on the base? Hopefully it's the same that you measured on the height. We're going to call that S. It's just the side length. Now, the tricky, really hard part about using S as a variable is it looks a lot like a what? A 5. So we are going to take away this square, which has base S and height S. Again, if it's base times height, S times S, how do we write that? It's S squared. So this is not 5. That's really, really hard. So there we go. That's an S. So we have 6 squared. Then we took away the square S. S squared. 6 squared minus S squared. There's our expression. We don't know what it is, but we've written our expression. We had the whole square. Then we subtracted. We cut out a part. And this is what we subtracted. It was a shape of a square because it was the base times the height. We're the same number. So S times S. And how we write S times S is S squared. Now, the problem goes on to a second part that tells us, what about if we evaluated our expression? Evaluate in math means find an answer. So it said, what if we all of a sudden told you that S equaled 3? Now, my S didn't equal 3. Yours maybe did because you read it in the problem, or maybe you chose something else. But it doesn't matter how you chose it. It's telling us now, what if we told you that S was 3? How do we solve this expression if we know S is 3? Well, hopefully if you've done these before, if you watched the other videos, you know, we take the number that it tells us and we put it into the expression. We just replace it for the letter. We take the number and we replace it for the letter. So I'm going to erase and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I'm in the process of writing this expression again, and I wrote the 3. I took out the S and I changed it into a 3. Did I change any other part? No. So I had to write everything else in, including this 3 for the S. So I kept the 6 squared. I keep the subtraction sign. I even keep the squared part. The only thing I replaced and changed was it told us S equaled 3. So I just took out the S because it's not a mystery anymore. We know what it is. And I put in 3. Now, how do we evaluate this? How do we solve this? Well, order of operations tells us first parentheses, we don't have any, then exponents. And again, we always go left to right if we need to. So in this case, we'll start at the left. What is 6 squared? Well, first of all, 6 squared means 6 times 6. Then, we haven't done anything to the subtraction sign. 3 squared means 3 times 3. Whoops. 3 times 3. So now our new problem is 6 times 6 minus 3 times 3. Well, after we solve the exponents, we know we have to go to multiplication and division from left to right. I'm out of room. I'm going to write this up a little bit, and we're going to solve it. Okay, I rewrote it to have a little more room. So we need to solve from left to right. Multiplication, 6 times 6 is 36. We didn't do anything to the subtraction sign. The next one we run into, 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Now we know how to solve it. 36 minus 9 is 27. So hold on, and I'll come right back with the next problem. Hey, we're back. And our next problem is number 23 on page 250. Number 23 on page 250. Shout out to Ava for requesting this question. So thank you so much. We're back to Pringles. She did not request Pringles, but she just got them anyway. So thanks, Ava. Okay, so number 23 says 4m minus 4 and m. And they want to know, are they equivalent? Are those two the same thing? If we put them on a teeter-totter, would they be worth the same thing? That's the question. So if we put these on a teeter-totter, there's the middle of the teeter-totter, would they be able to teeter-totter? Are they worth the same? Well, if you just look at the numbers and letters, it's easy to get confused because you see a 4 here and you see subtracting 4. So it's easy that you could be like, well, I don't know, maybe they are because I see 1 4 and we're taking a 4 away over here. But when we model it out, it's going to be kind of easy for you to tell. So don't just guess. Go and get something to model it with. And it doesn't matter what it is. You can use whatever you have at your house and you'll figure it out. So we need 4m. That means 4 groups of a mystery amount. We're back to Pringles. We need 4 groups of a mystery amount. Doesn't matter if we use the mega stacks or we use the tiny ones or we use the regular ones. Totally doesn't matter. We just need to have a stack of something that we don't know how much it is to help us. So in this case, I'm going to use just the regular one. So it says 4m, 4 groups of that mystery amount. So there's 1, oops, I'm knocking things, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 groups of a mystery amount. I'm going to clear out the rest so they don't confuse us. Okay, here they are. We've got 4 groups of a mystery amount. But that's not the whole part of the problem. What else does it say? We have to take away 4. Does that mean we take away all 4 of those? In which case the answer would be 0. We're trying to figure out how many Pringles we have here. So we've got 4 groups of a mystery amount, and then we're taking away 4. It doesn't mean we're taking away 4 groups. That would just be 4m minus 4m, in which case it'll be 0. We just take them all away. It tells us we're taking 4. It's just a whole number. It's an individual number. What that means is we're actually taking away 4 Pringles. So, lucky me, thanks Ava for requesting this question. Because guess what I get to do? I get to dig into one of these and take away 4 Pringles. So, here I go. So I'm going to open this up. Reach in here and take out 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So I've taken out 4 and I'm going to take them away. And I'm going to eat them later, or maybe I'll eat them right now, actually. Did you know I actually asked Pringles if they would give us Pringles so we could use them and eat them while our videos are going on? Whoop! I did. They said no. Okay. So we had 4 mystery amounts of Pringles. We took out 4, took them away. I just ate one of them. Does that equal m? Remember, there's in front of a letter, if there's no number, it just means 1 automatically. So there's 1 group of Pringles. So if we had 4 groups of a mystery amount of Pringles, 4m, out of this one, I opened it up and took away 4 of them. Does that now mean we have 1 can of Pringles left? 1 mystery group, 1m. Totally doesn't even make sense, does it? When you act it out like this, it's super easy to tell that doesn't make sense at all. But if you just look at the numbers, it's really easy to get confused. So do what I do, model it out, act it out, use the strategy of acting it out, and you'll see, no, those aren't even close to being equivalent. So should we put an equal sign there? No, in fact, we're going to put the not equal sign. The not equal sign is an equals, and then you kind of put a Ghostbusters through it. 4m minus 4 is not equal to just 1m. 4 mystery amounts, 4 groups of a mystery amount, minus 4 individual Pringles does not equal 1 can of a mystery amount of Pringles. I'll come back for the end. Okay, please come back and join us for part 3. We've got 2 more problems that are requested for Unit 9, so see you soon. I mean Unit 5, Lesson 9. See you soon.